This conference will now be recorded.
All right, it being the time to call to order this March 11, 2021 meeting of the Council of Ellesmere. We'll do Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Moment of silence for those wishing to do so. All right, Councilman Hurst, we can do roll call, please.
First District,
Present.
Second District,
Present.
Third District,
Present.
Fourth District,
Yes.
Fifth District,
Present.
Sixth District is present. Mayor,
Present.
Town Solicitor,
Present.
Town Manager,
Here.
Police Chief.
I'm here. I apologize. My camera is not working.
All accounted for.
Diana, you want to do the opening statement, please?
Diana, you're muted again.
I apologize. Good evening and welcome to the Town of Ellesmere, March 11th, 2021 meeting of the Mayor and Council. It is now 6:30 p.m. and the meeting is being held virtually using GoToMeeting meeting video conferencing with a teleconference option. For those attending the meeting using the video conferencing option on computer or tablet, we ask you to please mute your microphones using the microphone button on the top right or bottom middle of your video screen. For those attending using the GoToMeeting app on your smartphone, please ensure that you have entered your name as well as mute your microphone using the microphone button on the top right of your screen. Those attending by calling in using a cell phone, please ensure to mute your phone using your cell phone's standard mute button. For those attending using a traditional telephone, please press *6 to mute your telephone. There will be a time permitted for public comment where attendees will be permitted to unmute their phones. We ask that you please wait for the appropriate time and then please identify yourself by name and address prior to speaking. In addition, if you are using the mobile app or are using the web conference, there is a chat function where questions may be submitted in writing and will be monitored by staff and addressed by the Mayor and Council during the meeting. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting back over to the Mayor, Eric Thompson, to move forward with the agenda.
Thank you. So we'll move on to public comment. We had a couple people. Mrs. Berg.
Yes.
The floor is yours.
Okay, I had a couple questions. One, and I understand now that you guys are going to address this, but I was wondering when the parks were going to be open, in particular the dog park. And the second question is, I was wondering what is going to go on with our streets. Western Avenue is awful to drive on. Northern Avenue, on both sides of Northern Avenue are not much better. And at the end of Northern and Baltimore Avenue, there is a huge, almost, like a dip in the road that is getting really bad. I know in the past, our previous council person had relinquished his money or the money for our section to someone else. So I'm just wondering where we are in that and if any of these roads in the second district will be addressed.
And it's just for the record, Mrs. Berg, name and address, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sharon Berg, 108 Northern Avenue.
And I think the town manager can address some of that because he had a meeting with our senator and the monies that are available that we usually give that go towards street repairs are going to be available again. Is that correct, John?
Yes, sir. We can expect to receive another $100,000, 50 from Representative Mitchell and 50 from our senator at the beginning of the new session of the legislature. And then council will evaluate which roads are up for approval and which ones get approved from there. We'll go out and get bids on different roads that we think are bad, bring it to council, and council decide. No, it's not much hope, Sharon, but that's what it is.
No, I appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
And there may be, not putting the cart before the horse, but in the new bill that just passed the federal Senate, there are monies allotted to Ellesmere. It's just figuring out what can and cannot be done with that money. So potentially there might be other possibilities, but we'll have to see once all that gets ironed out. I know there are people that are going through that right now, trying to figure out what municipalities can use that money for. All right, Mr. Berg?
Yes, thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Councilwoman Persani about bringing up last month in reference to the parks. Steve Berg, 108 Northern Avenue, former mayor of the town. I have nothing to do with the town, but sitting out front, I get a lot of people come to me and ask me, hey, when's the dog park going to open? I really, really appreciate her doing that. It's time to, I guess, maybe take another step with this pandemic and start letting the dogs do what they got to do. Second of all, I saw on the agenda where there's a couple things. I'm just going to speak on one right now. I'll wait to the end. There is going to be discussion today on possibly lowering the amount that the town manager is able to spend from $10,000 to $5,000. When I was on council at the time, I think it was $5,000, and we raised it to $10,000. We saw the need for it with purchasing stuff, and it seemed like every month that the town manager would be coming to the town council, mayor and council, to ask for permission. And we allowed it to move it to $10,000, and anything over that be a bid. Bid process is, and I'm sure everybody on this council know what a bid process takes, how long it takes. You're looking at a possible 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks to get something on a bid process. If something's needed right away, this comes out of the budget. He's responsible for over a $2 million budget. He or she, whoever the manager is responsible for over a $2 million budget. $10,000 seems like a lot, and it is a lot. But I think that the town manager, we can't actually think about just today. We need to think about the future. And we need to go for the future. You guys just passed a comprehension plan last month to go to Dover, and that's for the future. So we need to stay above where we need to go. 10,000 this time of day, this time of the year now is even lower. It should actually be increased, not decreased. Because you can, if they needed to get a whole new computer system for that town, for all the workers in there, it would be over $10,000, over $5,000, just to replace half of it. So, I mean, if there's personal vendettas against anybody or somebody has anything going on, they don't like something going on, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I think we should stay the course. I think you guys should stay the course and stay where it's at. If there's a discrepancy, you always have the power to bring it back and do whatever you need to do. But right now, if it's not broke, why fix it? Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Berg. Anybody else who joined who wanted public comment? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the February 11th, 2021 council meeting. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 11th, 2021 council meeting.
I'll second.
All right, I did not hear who seconded. I didn't see who that was.
Mary Ann Skipsky.
So motion by Mayor, seconded by Councilwoman Skipsky. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes. The February 11, 2021 council meeting minutes are approved, 7 yeses, 0 nos. We'll move on to approval of the minutes of the February 23rd, 2021 special council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the February 23rd, 2021 special council meeting.
Motion by Councilwoman Persani,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilman Hurst. Any discussion? Hearing none, vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes. The minutes from the February 23rd, 2021 special council meeting are approved, 7 yeses, 0 nos. All right, move on to old business. Item number 1, consideration for third and final reading, as well as public hearing of ordinance 657, establishing a procedure and rules for the 2021 biennial municipal election.
Mr. Mayor, the ordinance was amended from last month. We took out the mailing of votes to registered voters. And the other thing, there was another thing council wanted out. We took both those out, and this is the same document with those two things removed.
All right, do we have a
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 657 revised for third and final reading.
motion by Councilwoman Persani,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilwoman Skipsky? Any discussion by council? Hearing none, any public comment? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes. Ordinance 657 revised passes, 7 yeses, 0 nos. Great. Old business. Item number 2, consideration for third and final reading, as well as public hearing of ordinance 658, repealing ordinance 654, which placed a moratorium on the review or hearing of an application to the Planning Commission or Board of Adjustment, which in any manner increased impervious lot coverage.
So moved.
Mr. Mayor,
We have a motion by Councilwoman Jensen,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilwoman Persani. And sorry, John, you were going to mention something?
No, just saying it is just as it reads, does just what it does, takes that all the ordinance away.
Any discussion by council? All right, hearing none. Mr. Benyon, did you have comment?
Yeah, I just had a quick comment. I want to say I'm glad that you guys are taking down this moratorium. I was against it in the first place, mainly because it kind of restricted the. Sorry, I'm 2 Marvillo, by the way. Sorry for that. Just because it restricted us from being able to improve our properties, but mainly my biggest problem with the original, I think was it 654, is it had no plan. There was no instructions to the citizens on what the plan was going forth, on how, what step-by-step methods would be taken to underdo whatever study. It was just a moratorium to have a moratorium, in my honest opinion. One question, what occurred, what was the information that came to light that caused this to be redacted already? What was the actual number of lot coverage increase? Is that a number publicly available?
It is, and I believe John has made, that's available, right? I think there was another request for that.
It was, and the biggest thing was that we found out that we were not in a penalty situation. We would not pay the $683,000 based on what we've done, and we just need to be diligent about when we approve these requests for actions that will increase the water flow, but we're not in any dire need right now.
Okay, that's good to hear.
So we
Okay,
have
that's-
time now to come up with guidelines about what can happen and what can't happen in the future with it.
Perfect. That's all.
Was there anybody else who wanted public comment on ordinance 658?
Mr. Mayor, John Jaremchuk, 300 Southern Road. As a member of the Planning Commission, I supported the original ordinance for the moratorium. And the reason for that was we needed to know, as members of the Planning Commission, exactly where the town stood on the MPDES. Because we were given these applications for certain things and we were kind of making decisions in the dark. So now that we have the information, we know where we are, we can proceed as a member of the commission. So I'm glad that the administration was able to get the information in a speedy manner so that we can now forget about the original moratorium and move forward for the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment on ordinance 658?
Yes, this is John Pockets, 116 Western Avenue, also a member of the Planning Commission. I agree 100% with John Jaremchuk just said. You know, I joined the Planning Commission and despite, I think, a lot of good, well-meaning people on there, we were, you know, kind of in the dark. So I'd like some more clarification going forward, if we can do that. Because what you just said here tonight does not, you know, it says that we have room, but, you know, we need to have some numbers as the Planning Commission. So moving forward, I'd like to, you know, have some more clarification. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment on ordinance 658?
Yeah, John does have the numbers. He did share them with us. He was saying since the whole thing started, we only increased by 0.65 acres and we were sitting around 6.5 acres. And the street sweeping covers up to 10 acres. So there is numbers given, just nobody wants to share it. Thank you.
Any other public comment? All right, hearing none, we'll vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth,
Yes.
and Mayor, yes. Ordinance 658 passes, 7 yeses, 0 nos. All right, new business, consideration of reopening the town's playgrounds and Bark Park.
Mr. Mayor, I sent to all the members of Mayor and Council the latest COVID-19 playground guidelines when you're considering this. As you can see, the biggest hurdle to opening the parks is that they say it should be cleaned at least once every 24 hours and sanitized, and there needs to be signs posted and things like that about wearing masks, and we should have cleaning stations and so forth. We don't have those, so I don't think we're ready to reopen yet, but that's up to you guys. I think if we open now, we don't have what the governor has put in his COVID-19 restrictions to reopen the parklands.
Hey, John,
including the dog park.
John, I have a question for you. When I'm reading this, it seems like it's more recommendations, not rules or laws. And I thought all parks were always used at your own risk anyways. And nowadays with COVID, everyone has a hand sanitizer readily at all times. So
Parks are generally,
I'm all for it.
parks are generally at your own risk, that you're correct. And these are their guidelines, so what weight they have, they're in the executive order. So I don't know what had that whole, what legal ground holds. It's like wear a mask, you know, you tell you wear a mask. Do we go out and enforce wearing masks? No, we don't. But
So you're pretty much saying it's all suggestion then. It's not law,
well,
correct?
I don't think it's law.
It's recommendations. Yes, it's
I guess I
guidance,
would-
recommendations, what they would like you to do. And it's
I
up
guess
to us
I
to
turn it-
decide.
I turn it over to our attorney as to what effect we have to comply with an executive order.
Well, if it's an executive order that says playground requirements, we would have to comply. But it's an executive order that says playground guidance. So it's within the bailiwick of the town to decide how they want to follow this and to what extent they want to follow it. In my view, there are, you know, if you listen to me all the time, right? Listen to the attorney. Attorneys are known. Everybody's shaking their head. Don't listen to the attorney. I don't blame you. But you know, if you listen to the attorney, we focus on risk, right? But in reality, if you were to tell me or ask me what are the risks if we reopen, I would say you have a much greater risk if you don't reopen, because the populace is going to say this is guidance, this is not a requirement from Dover. If somebody contracts the coronavirus and then can somehow establish causation between them contracting it and the town of Ellesmere, I think it's such a small risk that the chances that you're found liable are minuscule.
There in the document I sent to mayor and council, there's a Department of Public Health Social Services COVID-19, and he calls it playground guidance. Doesn't say rules, laws, or anything else. He calls it guidance. And it says general guidance, and it says signs should be placed to represent the playground. Should be present at the playground to encourage everyone to social distance, wear face masks, those type of things. So it doesn't seem to me to be a mandate. It seems to me to be guidance. I want to open.
And if I may,
Councilwoman Persani?
I take it as it being guidance as well. And having a granddaughter, I'm getting kind of tired of leaving Ellesmere to go to a park to play with her. We've been to Carousel, we've been to Glasgow. I don't see any kind, or at least I didn't notice any kind of signage, saying how often the county is cleaning the playground equipment. I agree that it's always been, enter at your own risk, and if we could maybe just post a sign at the playground saying, wear a mask and use hand sanitizer when you're done. So, I don't see any reason to keep them closed any longer. Numbers are going down, thank the Lord. Hopefully we'll be seeing this situation improve. But again, it's getting kind of frustrating now that I have to take my granddaughter out of Ellesmere to go to a park. That's all I have.
Councilwoman, real quick, when you go to those other parks, because my son's older, so I don't use playground anymore, but do they have signs? Are they posting signs saying use hand sanitizer, wear a mask, things of that nature?
I haven't noticed. Now, when the last time I was at Glasgow Park was at the height of the pandemic and around Christmas. We went there one day and it was jam-packed. The children even didn't have masks on. And I didn't notice any kind of signage with regard to COVID and children using the playground equipment. I didn't notice anything that said how often the playground was sanitized. So, you know, I just don't see, you know, what would be involved in cleaning and sanitizing it? I mean, is this something that they would use they would use a fogger, or do they have to wipe down the surfaces? You know, either way, I don't see the sense in keeping the parks closed anymore, because again, I think at this point in this area, we're the only ones that are remaining closed.
I have contacted a number of other municipalities. I didn't do it. Someone else did, and the league sent a letter out to everybody wanting to know the status of their parks, and it's about 50-50. 50% of the people are open, 50% of the people are open with following the guidelines of the governors. And then there's about, well, 50-50 can't be 120, but there's a certain group out there too that says they're remaining closed because they can't meet the cleaning requirements. So it's a mixture up and down the state.
Hey, John, I think this right here also relates to the porta potties too, because you go to Newcastle County Parks, all the porta potties are out and they're only
Right.
being cleaned once a week. That is also a suggestion, not a law mandate rule.
Uh-huh. Okay. So it's up to you to do, and someone needs to just make a motion and do one thing or the other.
I'll make a motion that we reopen the parks and think about getting the porta potties back out there.
Would, for clarification, reopen with signage, no signage, just,
I say we reopen without signage and we put the porta potties back because it is that time of the year again, and that way there's nobody urinating inside the bushes or the tree lines.
a motion by Councilman Hurst, seconded by Councilwoman Persani. Discussion, Councilwoman Jensen?
Does that motion include the dog park?
Yeah, I think it was all parks.
Yes, I believe in the thing we said that if one was open, they all had to be open. So that didn't include the dog parks.
Mr. McMacken, did you have your hand up or are you scratching your head?
No, I did have my hand up. Remember here, we are interpreting this as guidance and non-mandatory. In my view, we are not taking on great expense, but we are further ameliorating risk if we do the signage, which would encourage hand washing and best practices and social distancing. So you guys, you make tough decisions, not me, but that would be my recommendation in order to mitigate risk. Not that there's great risk to begin with.
I'd be more than happy to revise my thing if everyone else would be more than happy. So if that would cover everything.
That would be my recommendation, Councilman.
Okay. So should I remove my motion and make a new motion?
Withdraw it.
Yeah, so Councilman, the way to do it would be if you would just say you withdraw it and you want to make a new motion.
Okay, I withdraw my motion. I would like to make a new motion. I'd like to make the motion that we reopen the parks with signage, and we also put the porta potties back.
I'll second again.
All right, a motion by Councilman Hurst, seconded by Councilwoman Persani. Any discussion? Councilwoman Jensen?
I'm sorry, but I have that open in front of me. Are we going to put hand washing stations or hand sanitizer in the parks?
I personally don't believe we need to because everyone has hand sanitizer now, but that's just me. And it is a use at your own risk also. And I think no one's leaving their house without their hands being clean or sanitized.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes. So we'll reopen the parks with 7 yeses and 0 nos with signage. I guess we can have a
And
discussion.
porta potties, sorry, Mayor, and porta
Porta
potties.
And I guess we can discuss how to do the signage. That doesn't require a motion. That's just figuring out language, and that can be circulated, John. All right, moving on to new business item 2. Consideration of amending the town's trash, yard waste, and recycling contract with Public Services.
Mr. Mayor, as you know, there's been some kind of controversy since we've joined with Republic about the number of houses they were supposed to pick up. They tried billing us $19,000 or $18,000 more per year than what the contract called for. Council has sent me out to try to negotiate a difference with them, and I have been successful in negotiating 1/2 of the price of that increase, which would be $9,000 annually. We would, in addition to what the additional contract cost was, or $750 a month is what it comes down to. I think this is a good settlement. They are picking up more houses than what was in the package. And $750 keeps us out of court. I don't think that's money that's not well spent. $750 a month. Comes out to $9,000 a year for each of the 3 years of the contract. And they have agreed to that.
I believe Mr. McMacken was involved also in those discussions to some degree. And at one of the prior council meetings, we talked about the risk benefit of litigation cost.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we did, and I've conferred with the town manager about that. I've also blessed the revised contract as protecting our interest.
Based on that, I'll make a motion to amend the town's trash, yard waste, and recycling contract as stated.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Mayor, seconded by Councilwoman Skipsky. Any discussion?
Yeah, this right here was all because we had the wrong number of houses for our town, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Off what Waste Management gave us as a number, and they ended up putting more houses out than Waste Management had.
I just don't understand why we would go by another company when we're looking at other companies when we should know how many houses we have, John. I apologize. I don't mean to be rude, but that was pretty asinine on your part.
Well, we were with this company for 10 years, and we thought they knew how much trash they were picking up and how many houses they were.
Still, it doesn't matter. You get paid a lot of money. This is your job, and you should be doing a better job at that.
Houses? It's my job
Thank
to
you,
go out and
John.
count houses.
You should already know how many houses that our town has. You are the town manager. You are in control of this town.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other discussion about the contract? Hearing none, we'll vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes. So the approval is 7 yeses, 0 nos to amend the contract with Republic Services. Item number 3, discussion and actions, including budget adjustments concerning the notice of termination received for the town's landscaping contract with Paoli Services effective April 1st, 2021.
Mr. Mayor, I advised the mayor and council that I had received a phone call from Paoli Services that told me that as of April 1st, they were no longer going to be in the grass cutting business. That leaves us in a dilemma what to do. For some time now, Councilman Hirsch has been a big advocate of bringing this back into the town. While I have concerns with that, I don't have concerns with the people in the Public Works Department who think they can do it. So I've met with them and we've come up with a cost that they could take over the service for $25,566 added to this year's budget. That would take us through July or through June, and in June we put it in a new budget packet. It'd still be a savings over Paoli in a new budget. We would need to make 3 transfers to different line items in the Public Works Department. They feel they get started on April 1st and be able to go.
Is Paoli Services already cutting the grasses as per their contract? Because from March through November, it's supposed to be weekly at minimum in all Class A parks.
From March to November, I told him that my discussion with him is that he had to meet his contract for the end of this year till
Okay.
April, and he said he would. I
Okay,
talked to him
I just
about
wanted to,
and so forth. So I haven't seen him cut, but I can ask Chuck and or the Public Works guys and see what they come up with. But
yeah,
I
because
told,
I would definitely like to know, because we're paying $3,800 a month, and we paid during the dormant seasons, where they should have been doing major pruning in dormant seasons as necessary to maintain a manicured appearance. And that was the same
Right.
for tree trimming. And if you read down,
Right.
also it's supposed to be basins and stuff like that. And I know I sent you a picture last week with that behind
Right.
Dover Avenue. So I don't know if that was taken care of. I'm kind of hoping it was. Thank you.
I don't think that was yet, to be Councilman, to be honest with you. I know he's guaranteed me he's gonna take care of the trees and so forth. But I'll talk to him about the drain.
Yeah, because I just wanted to make sure, because I know we commended our public works employees before when they did it on Kirkwood Highway and 100. And that was supposed to be
Mhm.
done by them, and we did that at our own cost. And then reading the contract, it looks like we've been paying for mulch and stuff like that for years. I've been seeing our guys do it. It's supposed to be maintained by them. That's in the playgrounds,
Some of it.
everywhere else, and that's in the contract, so.
Some of it is, I agree with you. Some of it is.
Oh, it's in the contract. It's in black and white, so thank
Okay.
you.
All right. All right.
So the one question I had is, this has come up before about taking landscaping in-house, and several years ago, the Public Works Department felt they could not do it. So what has changed now? Just a different mindset? Different,
Leadership down there has guaranteed me that he can do it if he gets what he needs. Part-time employee, some equipment and stuff like that, he can do it. So I have my doubts about whether they can or not with the load they already have on them, but it's worth a shot.
okay.
I have a comment.
Councilwoman Persani?
Yes, I just wanted to note and thank Mr. Ballback. The proposal he submitted was very thorough. It covered all bases. It really gave us a good idea in terms of expenses. And I do believe that under his leadership, as the town manager said, that the gentleman in our Public Works Department can more than handle this challenge. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
It would cost us an additional $25,566 this fiscal year, but we would save $9,000 in Paoli costs. So we're down to $16,000 and some dollars.
And we have that in the budget? I don't have the budget in front of me.
No, we're going to have budget adjustments. We have it available, but it's not in the Public Works budget. We would need to transfer $10,700 to the Public Works line item equipment. We'd need to transfer $9,535 to the Public Works line item of supplies, and $5,331 to personnel. And that would hire one part-time employee for that.
And would that come all from one line item? Or is?
Yeah, it would come from the general fund. It would come from the general fund and go into these separate line items. Is that right, Steve? Am I correct in that?
That's correct, John.
Okay.
Well, then I guess we need a motion.
I think you need a motion to vote to go into us doing the landscaping and to make the budget adjustments that were mentioned.
I'll make the motion that we do the budget adjustment that was just mentioned, along with going into taking over April 1st.
Motion by Councilman Hurst,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilwoman Skipsky. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes, so that is approved. 7 yeses, 0 nos. Cool, thank you. Moving on to item number 4, Councilman Hurst has requested a discussion reducing the town manager's authority to purchase items without the need for a formal bid process from its existing amount of 10,000 to 5,000.
I would like to withdraw this discussion because I want to come back next month as a motion, as an ordinance, please.
Okay. Item 4 is withdrawn. Move on to item 5, discussion concerning pending pending legislation by the Delaware Legislature concerning annexations.
The Delaware Legislature, ladies and gentlemen, has undertaken a task. They want to appoint a task force to create an annexation task force, which seems to be biased against smaller municipalities. It seems like the makeup of the committee is mainly state and county. The legislature picks their representatives. The county picks theirs, and then the county picks the municipal representatives on the committee. It's one that we don't think is needed on a league basis. And they want to know how the towns feel about this. I want to be able to call the league tomorrow and tell them how our council voted on this. Everybody had a copy of the legislation, right?
Yes.
And just so the different discussions that were going on with various municipalities in the league centered more around the lack of representation of municipalities on this task force, not necessarily whether they're for or against it, other than Smyrna is clearly against it. But a lot of it had to do with just the lack of representation.
Right. It's like Big Brother's telling us what we're going to do and how we're going to annex. And like we did with our plan, the minute we mentioned annexation, the county took a hissy fit with us. So.
Councilwoman Persani?
Yes, the one thing I found particularly disturbing was that this legislation would require anyone who puts in their comprehensive plan an area to annex, we would need to get their permission to note them in our comprehensive plan. I have an issue with that. No one has sought our opinion on being in the city of Wilmington's annexation plan for many years. So now all of a sudden they want to pass something that says that we can't designate areas for possible future consideration for annexation. And especially when this is something that, we've been directed to include in our comprehensive plan by the state. So, I have real big issues with this, and I do believe we need to oppose this. That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think there's much question. So I'll just make the motion that we oppose the legislation as presently presented regarding annexation.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mayor, seconded by Councilman Hurst. Any further discussion? Hearing none, vote by roll. First district,
Yes.
second,
Yes.
third,
Yes.
fourth,
Yes.
fifth,
Yes.
sixth.
Yes.
Mayor, yes, so unanimously opposed. You gonna send that out to them, John? Respond back to Carl?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
I'll send them tomorrow morning.
All right, that concludes new business. We'll move on to departmental reports. Number one, code.
Code for the month issued 19 citations, 10 of them were corrected, 7's had to have fines issued, and 2 are pending. Council districts, 8 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, none in the fifth, and 7 in the sixth. They've issued 73 violations so far this calendar year. Permit fees, they billed 2,605, and the town's received 1,092 of that. There's currently 1 nuisance property pending. There are 8 vacant properties in the town. Pre-rental inspection form were 6, and 2 petitions were heard. Permits were 8, and the business licenses issued were 9 out-of-town business licenses. Abandoned vehicles tagged were 13, only 1 needed to be towed, everybody else had complied. Notable projects were none. The pre-rental inspections were down. BIU performed some of them this month because Scott Allen is still out. I got a call yesterday, he's gonna be out for 2 more weeks. And that's it. Unless there are questions.
Any questions for code? All right, hearing none, thank you. Move on to finance.
The finance here, if we have any direct questions for him. Current year total revenues compared to last year are up by 115,297, while expenses are down 131,071. Property tax revenue through February 28th was $2,364,000. Transfer tax received for the month was $25,336. Year-to-date transfer tax received is $210,000. Steve projects a large increase over what was budgeted in transfer tax coming in. Banking, 2 fraudulent attempts on transaction in the state transfer holding account totaling $73,998. Staff's processing closing this account. We've opened the account up at the other bank and we're moving the money over to get it up there to close that state holding account at M&T because somebody's just trying to hit it right and left. Thank God we had the protections in there. We do. I had a meeting with PNC Bank to better understand their cash management software products and pricing. Provide us with some tools that we can streamline the process performed by the finance department. Senior tax applications were mailed out this month. Applicant submittals are being tracked to better gain an idea of the number of rejected applicants. Staff held a meeting with Edmonds Governmental Tech Developers for our financial reporting software meeting surrounding the evaluation of the current fiscal system setup. We're now awaiting a path forward from them to implement the necessary changes. Let's see what else we have here. Submitted the state of Delaware registration for police fund retirees. Submitted the department's annual report to administrative review. Moved all 30-day past due invoices into tax liens. And assisted the contractors installing additional phone lines at town hall as part of COVID-19 distancing precautions. That's it for the finance. You have the report. And if you have any questions, like I said, Steve's here, or I can answer them, and we'll go from there.
I just have one. For our finance director, Mr. Martin, I don't know if you have any idea at this point. As I'm sure you're well aware, we used the cushion in the general fund to balance our budget for this year. are we on pace with getting that cushion back? Do you have a sense yet of about about where we would end up in a couple months?
Well, we certainly wouldn't have that full cushion. At this point, I know we're going to have, I know John hates me to say this, but we're going to have a surplus. That surplus is used to carry us until we start collecting our taxes. But honestly, at this moment, I can't guarantee that that cushion would be there. As we get closer to the end of the fiscal year, I'll be able to give you a better projection. As a matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll do a report for our next council meeting just to give you guys an idea of where we're going to be.
Yeah,
Okay.
revenue. I'm sorry, Councilman, but as you know, revenues start to dry up at this time of the year in income while expenses go on. So that's where you catch up, where it looks real good in February, March, and then it starts going downhill from there. But we make it every year, so.
We're going to be good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's good to hear. Also, I guess one good aspect of COVID, I'm working from home, so I've been living over at PNC Bank or M&T Bank. Learned a lot about wire transfers. Any questions for finance? Any other questions? All right, hearing none, we will move to public safety.
Hello. In your report, I was unable to give you the voluntary assessment fines this month because apparently the court was having some problems. We just got it today. In February, it was $14,335.29. The total received for voluntary assessment fines year to date is $153,450.52. You have your report. If you have any questions on that, I have a few things to add. One of our officers who is assigned to the Homeland Security Investigation Task Force recently assisted in a case that led officers to Las Vegas, Nevada. The task force officers included Homeland Security investigations from the Delaware office, Newark Narcotics Unit, and the Southern Nevada High Impact Narcotics Task Force. Were able to apprehend 4 individuals who were unlawfully selling, cultivating, and distributing large amounts of marijuana, concentrated marijuana, and edible marijuana products. This investigation led to 361 pounds of marijuana being seized, 134.5 pounds of THC edibles, 1,174 marijuana plants, 73 pounds of THC wax, $27,890, and 3 firearms seized. This is all started with an investigation initially started in Ellesmere and then went on to Newark, and then they picked it up, and then we assisted with the Homeland Security. Detective Sowden was able to get a homicide indictment and for murder first for the homicide that occurred in the 1300 block of Cypress Avenue. The suspect, Ryan Geary from Newport, is awaiting extradition from Pennsylvania. I applied for a SLEEF grant in the amount of $13,968. In that grant, I applied to replace our 10-year-old Smith & Wesson MP duty weapons, and we were granted the grant, and we will be replacing our weapons with a 9mm Sig Sauer P320 with Romeo red dot sights and weapon-mounted lights. This will also include new holsters for all the officers. And I know this probably means nothing to most of you, but the state police, the county police, mostly all the state agencies are going with this weapon. And from what I've been told is that it improves the officers' scores and the efficiency of if an officer gets into a shooting, that it helps that officer, and then there's no, hopefully no one as a bystander gets shot or something like that, but it betters their score. There's also a reminder for anyone who's listening, please remember to lock your doors, your vehicle doors, and don't leave your spare keys or key fobs in your vehicles. This is a crime of opportunity. We're not the only ones getting hit by this. It's statewide, it's nationwide. So please make sure you lock your doors and take your keys. A lot of people will put their spouse's spare key fob in their car, and the criminal's pretty smart. He's just pushing it around, and it comes back to the other vehicle, and they steal that vehicle. Just to update you on the accreditation and Patrolman Rosa, I am awaiting for a date for the Department of Homeland Security that they want to present us with our accreditation plaque, and I'm waiting for the secretary to give us a date. But right now, tentatively, we're looking at Friday, April 9th, from anywhere from noon to 3, but I'll let you know, because then the secretary will be coming out. And if that is a good date for the secretary, I would like to have Patrolman Rosa be properly sworn in with his family present. Due to COVID, his family was unable to pin his badge or hold the Bible for his swearing in. So I'd like for him to have some kind of something memorable with his family being there, since he did do 6 months and he's doing a great job. Also, as you saw in your monthly packet, that officers did a happy birthday ride by for Joshua Bennett. His family has contacted the governor's office, and they would like to present a tribute to Sergeant Young. And we're going to schedule that for Tuesday, April 6th at 4 p.m. So I'll send out a reminder, but I thought that was very nice that they're recognizing Sergeant Young. I think that's it. Anybody have any questions? And again, I apologize, my camera's not working.
No, I just add two things. One, Mr. Bennett reached out. They were incredibly happy, and Joshua was beyond himself. We thought it was one of the greatest things ever when that happened. So that's great.
Good.
Wonderful.
Very
And the
nice.
other thing is, Chief, and you can elaborate on this. It sounds like there's a good chance there is a voluntary assessment center coming to Ellesmere, which will allow Ellesmere to recoup more of the extra fees that are added onto tickets by the state that will stay home. And we had talked about a mayor's court. There would have been expenses involved with that, with personnel, et cetera. Those expenses will not be realized through a voluntary assessment center. So it's a win on the costs that are kept locally without the added expenses. And that all came about because of great relationships that the chief and town manager have with our senators and representatives. So they met with Senator Manzavinos and Representative Mitchell, and looks like there's going to be a very good outcome.
And I will add Mayor Chief Magistrate Chief Judge Davis. He's been instrumental in helping us also.
Yeah, so that's great. Any questions for public safety? All right, hearing none. Thank you, Chief. Public Works.
Public Works, they spent most of the month clearing snow, as everybody knows. They were able to patch potholes on Auger Road, Poplar Avenue, and Spruce Avenue, a total of 12. But we are fastly pricing ourselves out of cold patch for these street repairs. So we're going to go over to hot patch and try to make this stuff stretch out here and get these potholes filled. But right now we're opening more potholes than we have patch for. The COVID-19 department continued the spraying of the vehicles and so forth for killing the germs and getting that all taken care of. All department employees and all town employees completed CPR and AED training during the month. The annual fire alarms were inspected and completed. The annual fire extinguisher inspection were completed. And the locks at Fairgrounds Park have been replaced due to vandalism. They seem to get vandalized as soon as the baseball season starts. I don't know what it is, but it seems they go through the whole winter fine, but as soon as the baseball season starts, they get vandalized. I don't know, maybe the kids see what's in there and they want to get in and get them, but that's all I have for Public Works. I believe Chuck is here if somebody has any questions for him.
Hey, John, I do have a question. I'm not sure if it's Public Works or not, though. I
Okay.
thought Beach Street was going to be getting repaired this year because I got a couple of phone calls about the potholes on Beach Street. And I know I went by and looked at them, and the roads are freaking horrible, and there's not really much to patch anymore. It's like it looks like it was patched and it just pops out.
Beach has been targeted. They stopped it when they came up with an excuse about weather and so forth. They're supposed to come back within the next 2 weeks and get started over there again with totally milling and paving the roadway. All the curb work's done. Matter of fact, there's some leftover sidewalk money. If anybody has some sidewalks that need to be replaced, you can put sidewalks in a couple areas if you want to give me a call. But Beach is going to be done.
Okay. Can we get an update when that starts, please?
Yes, definitely. As soon as they're out there, I'll let you know.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Public Works? All right, thank you. Hearing none, we'll move to Town Manager's report.
You have, I believe, in your desk or your file cabinet tonight, 1 or 2, your town yearly report for the town. So if you want to stop by Town Hall and pick them up, they're probably in your file cabinets. It's a year in review for 2020. That was finished this afternoon and put in there. We've got 2 people to hire. One was a full-time Public Works employee who just went out sick and didn't come back. And the other one was the part-time which you approved tonight for the landscaping. I don't see anything else in here. I think that's about it.
I have a question. The
Yes, ma'am.
annual report, will that be available online for residents as well?
Yes. Yes, so we're waiting for the police departments. If we don't want to wait for the police, we can put ours up and add the police when it comes in. The police department had a problem getting their numbers together with the state and everything.
Okay.
You want to wait for the state to put it on the website, or you want to put it up now? You put it up now and put
Yeah.
no police department will be coming later.
Yeah, doesn't hurt.
Diane, you can do that tomorrow or Monday? Okay, Diane, I'll handle that Monday, Councilwoman.
Any other question for Town Manager? All right, hearing none, public comment.
Mr. Mayor, John Zaremchuk, 300 Southern Road. I'd like to offer kudos to Chief Laura Giles for being able to secure the price of the new weapons through that SLEEF grant. Anytime you do something like that, you save the taxpayers of this town money, and that's exactly what she did. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none. Do you have any, Diana? Anybody send anything to you? No? Okay. Any statements by council?
Were we going to go by district?
Oh, we can do that. That first district?
I'm not sure what you were asking. If we have any statements?
Yeah, any statements, anything you wanted to say before we?
No.
All right, second,
No.
No, thank you.
third,
No.
fourth,
No.
fifth?
Yes, I have 2 statements I'd like to make. First is, I just want to remind everyone that there is a virtual 5th District residents meeting this month. That is Wednesday, March 24th at 6:30, and it will be available by GoToMeeting, just as we are with the council meeting. And even though it's billed as a 5th District resident meeting, anyone from the town can attend. So I just want to make everyone aware of that. And secondly, I have the following statement that needs to be included on the record. I would like to state on the record that we received subsequent advice from Pension Council that was provided to the town solicitor, mayor, and council, and that was reflected in the minutes of February 11th, 2021. We are now aware that for reasons communicated by the solicitor to the chief, that the chief was not and is not eligible to participate in the pension. We will let the minutes from the February 11th, 2021 meeting stand as is, but the record needs to reflect this development. That's all. Thank you.
Councilwoman Persani, the log or the go-to meeting information for that, is that going to be public anywhere? Is that on the town website for the 5th district meeting?
Yes, it should, at least the last time I checked it was also on the newsletter I distributed. And I'm sure that there will be another robocall going out a day or so before the meeting to remind residents as well.
6th district?
No, thank you.
All right. Nothing from mayor. Do we have a motion to adjourn? Mr. McMacken?
I understand that there was to be a motion to go into executive session, not a motion to adjourn. And I also communicated the link to mayor and council about 3 minutes before this meeting began. So that is in all of your emails.
So do we have a motion?
Yes, I'll make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussion of a personnel matter, and we will not return to the public session.
I second it.
All right, motion by Councilwoman Persani, seconded by Councilman Hurst. Guess we'll just go by roll. 1st district,
No.
2nd,
No.
3rd,
No.
4th,
No.
5th,
Yes.
6th.
Yes.
Mayor, no. The motion to go into executive session is defeated. 2 yeses, 5 nos. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilwoman Jensen, seconded by Councilwoman Skipsky. Vote by roll. 1st district,
Yes.
2nd,
Yes.
3rd,
Yes.
4th,
Yes.
5th,
No.
6th.
Yes.
Mayor, yes. That's 6 yeses, 1 no. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of the month.
Thank you all. Have a good weekend.
Hopefully there's more
Thank
warm
you.